Let's use increases and decreases to create a chevron pattern for a scarf. To start this project, start with the slip knot to mount the yarn onto the hook. Remember to chain loosely, and I'm going to chain 23. For this project, I'm using a slightly thicker than normal yarn and a 6.5 hook, which is also slightly oversized. I did that so that it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. Now, to start the first row, I'm going to have you crochet into the back rib of the chain row, and it will be easiest to lay this flat so that it doesn't twist, and it makes it easier to see your ribs. And the ribs are the more of the horizontal part of the chain. If you flip it over, you have more of a braid. I'm going to flip it and have you do it in the rib. And one of the reasons for this is because it will help with the tension to keep the first row more even and consistent with the other rows. So I do challenge you to try to do your foundation row into the back rib of your chain row. This scarf is going to be made with double crochets, and I'm going to do my first double crochet into the third chain from the hook, which would be the third rib, the way I'm asking you to do it. If we were going this direction, 1, 2, 3, and if you flip it, you can see 1, 2, and 3. Once again, I recommend laying your chain down flat so it's easier to see where you're going to crochet into. And double crochet into the back rib. Will give us a slightly looser foundation row. The double crochet in the third chain from the hook counts as the second double crochet because the chain 3 is our first double crochet. I'm going to double crochet into the next 3 chains going into the back rib. If you recall, we pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. As you go along, it's going to be a little bit easier to see the back rib. Just remember not to get twisted. You need to go ahead and lay it flat so that you can see where you're going. That's 1. Hopefully you chained loosely, and at this point you will be glad that you did. Otherwise you'll be fighting your stitches a bit. The next pattern instruction calls for 3 double crochets together, and that will be our first decrease, and I will be continuing to do those in the back rib. And so for the decrease, I'm going to go down into that back rib and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. But instead of completing that stitch, I'm going to go down into the next chain rib. I did a yarn over and then pull up a loop. And once again, I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 chains. I now have 3 loops on the hook, and now I'm going to go into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops, and now there are 4 loops on the hook. And for the decrease, I'm going to now yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook all at once. And so the next 3 stitches are now decreased under 1. To continue, next instructions are to double crochet into the next 3 chains, or the next 3 back ribs of the next 3 chains in this example. We'll do that as normal. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, go into the back rib of the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's 2 double crochets, so I'm going to do 1 more into the next back rib. Now I'm going to do an increase in the next back rib. And if you remember, an increase is doing 2 or more. In this case, we're going to do 3 double crochets all in the same stitch. And that is an increase. So that's 1. There's 2. And 3. Now you can see how the decrease gives a wave downward, and the increase pulls the work upward. And that's going to give us our wave pattern, or our chevron pattern for the scarf. And a double crochet into the next 3 chains in the back rib. Doing the decrease with 3 double crochets together means that we don't skip a chain for the decrease, which is another way to do a decrease. three together decrease doesn't leave any gaps the way it would if we skipped a chain for the decrease. This is an example of a single crochet chevron using a decrease by skipping a stitch. You can see the slight gap this leaves. Now I'm going to do a decrease, 3 double crochets together across the next 3 back ribs. Remember, it's yarn over, go down into our rib, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now instead of a yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook, we're going to leave that last step and go right into the next rib. I think it's getting easier to see where that big rib is now. I hope you feel like it's a little easier too. All right, remember that we yarn over and go through 2, but we're going to leave that last loop on the hook. And then I'm going to go into the 3rd chain. I yarned over, pull up a loop, go through the 2 chains, and now there are 4 loops on the hook. And to complete the decrease, I'll yarn over and go through all 4 loops on the hook. And that brings these 3 double crochets together under 1 loop on top. That's going to create our decrease, which gives us our downward motion in our pattern. Now I'm going to just do yarn over and go into the back rib and do a double crochet as normal. So go ahead and yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on the hook. Oops. 2. Then in our very last chain, in this back rib, I'm going to do 2 double crochets instead of the 3 double crochet increase. So there will be 2 double crochets on each end in place of the 3 double crochet increase. Yay, we're through the first row. Everything counted out the way it's supposed to. I'm pretty excited about it. So now we're ready to go on to the next row. Row 2. You can see how the increases and decreases have started our chevron wave pattern for the scarf. By crocheting into the back rib of our chain row, first row is going to end up looking very, very much like the last row. So there won't need to be any extra finish work. Also, crocheting into the back rib of the chain row gives a looser tension that will more evenly match up with the rest of the work. Now we'll start the second row, and this row we're going to repeat over and over until we get to the length that we want. You'll continue with this wavy chevron shape. For row 2, I'm going to chain 2 and turn. double crochet as normal into that first double crochet. And now we return to normal, and you can go back to both loops as you're used to doing. So I'm going to do a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. For the double crochet decrease, I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on the hook, and do that again in the next stitch. This time leaving 3 loops on the hook, and then into the 3rd stitch. And then to complete the decrease, I will yarn over and pull through all 4 of the loops on the hook. Now I'm ready to continue with a double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And now I'm going to do 3 double crochets all in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. There's my increase. Double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then I'm going to do 3 double crochets together for a decrease. Two loops, three loops, four loops, yarn over, and there's the decrease. Now double crochet in the next 3 stitches. And in the top of the chain 2 from the previous row, I'm going to do 2 double crochets to finish the row. Now the scarf is even taking more shape. I'll continue with the row 2, which would be chain 2, turn. Now continue to repeat this row until you have as many rows as you need to achieve the length you desire for your scarf.